Tuesday in Salem doesn't explode with action. It whispers. It stings. It shifts the entire week into a new direction. Because today is the day several characters collide with truths they were never ready to face, and every storyline tightens like a spring about to snap. Let's dive into the full, dramatic breakdown. Holly Jonas steps into the day looking like she owns it, composed, polished, and glowing with the kind of confidence that makes people turn their heads. She smiles easily. She speaks thoughtfully. She carries herself like someone who's finally ready to move past the chaos of her recent mistakes. And the people around her buy it. They see a young woman trying to rebuild her reputation, a girl who just wants to make a fresh start. But viewers know something the others don't. Holly never makes a great impression by accident. Every look is deliberate. Every word is chosen. Every sweet smile hides a sharper edge. Because Holly isn't just reinventing herself. She's positioning herself. There's calculation behind her calm. Determination behind her charm. A quiet fire burning behind those bright eyes. She's playing a long game, a game where she intends to get exactly what she wants. Even if someone else has to lose in the process. Today marks the beginning of Holly's next chapter. And that chapter isn't about innocence. It's about strategy. Chanel Dupree starts her morning in rare peace. She's walking through Salem with baby Trey in his stroller, her son, her joy, her brand new beginning. For once, everything feels right. But peace never lasts long in this town. As Chanel turns the corner, her breath catches in her throat. Standing right in front of her is Aaron Green, Trey's biological father. The moment freezes. Aaron's eyes immediately drop to the baby. Then back to Chanel. Then to the baby again, long enough for the tension to spike. A flicker of realization crosses his face. He steps closer, voice calm but loaded with meaning. Is that your baby? It's a simple question. But the tone? The curiosity? The way his eyes sharpen as he studies Trey's features? It all hits Chanel like a punch to the gut. Her chest tightens. Her pulse jumps. Her hand instinctively grips the stroller handle like she's trying to protect Trey from something she can't even name yet. She forces a polite smile, but her entire body goes rigid. Because in that one question, 1,000 fears explode. Does he know? Did he recognize Trey? Is he going to fight for him? Will this turn into a custody battle she's not ready for? Aaron doesn't say anything more, but he doesn't have to. The look he gives Trey is enough. A look that lingers, a look that wonders, a look that claims. And in that moment, Chanel understands. This isn't an awkward encounter. This is a warning, a reminder that the past doesn't disappear just because you walk away from it. Aaron Green is back in Salem's orbit. He's curious, he's watching, and if he realizes Trey is his son, Chanel's whole world could collapse. This moment is the spark, and the fire it ignites may burn far bigger than anyone expects. Across town, Tate Black does something he almost never allows himself to do. He lets his guard down. Tate finds a quiet moment with Ari and finally releases the thoughts that have been weighing him down for days. At first, it's just fragments, a sigh, a worried look, a half sentence he doesn't finish. But Ari gently pushes, and Tate finally breaks open. He talks about Rachel, how she's spiraling, how she's scared, and how she's becoming someone he barely recognizes. He talks about Brady, the exhaustion in his eyes, the pressure crushing him, and the fear Tate feels every time he watches his dad try to hold their world together. And then he admits the truth he hasn't dared to say aloud. He feels responsible. Responsible for holding the family steady. Responsible for being the strong one. Responsible for being the calm in a storm that keeps getting bigger and darker. The scene is soft, almost intimate, two teenagers sitting together while the weight of generations of trauma presses on their shoulders. But underneath it all is something deeper. Tate is growing up faster than he should. He's sliding into the role of emotional protector, the one who catches everyone else when they fall. But protectors always pay a price. His voice cracks just slightly, and Ari sees the truth. Tate is terrified, not just of what Rachel might do next, but of what this family crisis might do to him. And as he speaks, Tate crosses a line without realizing it, a line where he stops being a kid, and becomes the one holding everyone else together. It's brave, it's heartbreaking, and it's the beginning of a journey that will shape Tate's future in ways he can't yet imagine. Belle arrives ready for legal questions. Custody, liability, medical updates, all the usual damage control that comes with being part of the Black family. But she isn't prepared for what Brady is about to say. He doesn't ease into it. He doesn't soften it. He doesn't try to protect her from the blow. He just says the words, "Rachel remembers." Belle freezes, not understanding at first. But Brady keeps going, voice tight, eyes dark. Rachel remembers the gun. She remembers pulling the trigger. She remembers EJ falling to the ground. And worst of all, she remembers Kristen taking the blame. Belle's face drains of color as she pieces it together. This isn't just a memory resurfacing, it's a psychological crisis detonating in slow motion. Brady's voice shakes as he describes Rachel's panic, her guilt, her fear, and the way she's slipping through his fingers. Belle listens with horror, not because she doubts him, but because she understands exactly how dangerous this is. Rachel isn't just traumatized, she's unraveling. Her mind is trying to reconcile a childhood act of violence with the truth of what her mother did to protect her, and it's tearing her apart. Belle reaches for Brady's arm, trying to anchor him, but he pulls back, overwhelmed. He feels helpless. He feels outmatched. He feels like every decision he makes is the wrong one. And Belle sees it. Brady isn't just struggling, he's breaking. Belle tries to offer solutions, therapy, evaluations, legal pathways, but even she can't hide the fear flickering in her eyes. This isn't just a family scandal. This is a mental health emergency. A situation that could send Rachel into long-term care. A situation that could ruin Kristen. A situation that could destroy Brady. And Belle knows something Brady isn't ready to accept. The truth didn't set anyone free. The truth just lit the fuse. Alex Kyriakis is not an easily shaken man. He's confident, quick on his feet, and rarely rattled by shadows. But today feels wrong. It started with a noise behind him the night before, too soft to identify, too sharp to ignore. Then came the movement he thought he saw in a window's reflection. The shift of a silhouette. The sense of someone stepping back just as he turned around. Salem is never quiet, but suddenly everything around him feels too quiet. Too still. Too intentional. So Alex goes to the one person he trusts to give him clarity, Stephanie. He tries to be casual at first, but the worry in his voice betrays him. Have you noticed anything strange lately? Does it feel like someone's been around, someone who shouldn't be? The more he talks, the more he reveals a fear he's been trying to suppress. He doesn't think he's imagining things. He thinks someone is following him. Stephanie listens, but she doesn't absorb the panic beneath his words. She sees stress, not danger. She tells him he's overthinking. That it's the holidays, the pressure, the emotional weight of everything happening with his family. She brushes it aside with a soft smile, the kind that says you'll be fine, stop worrying. Alex forces himself to nod, but the unease doesn't leave. It digs deeper, because every instinct in him, the instincts that kept him alive through every Kyriakis family war, are screaming the same thing. This isn't paranoia. This isn't nerves. This is real. Someone is watching him. Someone is studying him. Someone is waiting. And Tuesday is the day when the stalker's presence becomes more than a feeling. It becomes a threat. Stephanie won't recognize the danger until it's already too close. In the rest of Salem, life moves forward, family gatherings, hospital visits, holiday preparations. But something is off. Someone is missing, and no one has put the pieces together yet. At the Horton house, Charlotte sits at the table, crayons scattered everywhere. She's smiling, drawing turkeys and hearts, but every few minutes she glances toward the door. She keeps waiting for footsteps. For a familiar voice. For her daddy to walk in and scoop her into his arms. Finally, she whispers her wish, "I want Daddy to come home." Those words hit harder than any dramatic reveal, because while Charlotte hopes, Chad is fighting to stay alive. Far beneath Salem, in the cold and suffocating DiMera crypt, Chad DiMera wakes up in darkness, disoriented, bruised, and trapped. He's not alone. Kristen and Tony are already in there, held hostage, unsure how long they've been imprisoned or who put them there. Chad tries to stay calm, but the realization hits him like a punch. No one knows where he is. No one is coming, and the DiMera crypt has a long, deadly history. Back above ground, Jennifer senses something is wrong. She keeps glancing at her phone, wondering why her messages to Chad are unanswered. Abigail's absence already haunts the family. And now Chad is gone too, a double wound that Salem isn't emotionally prepared to face. Tuesday doesn't reveal the full horror yet. It doesn't show the rescue. It doesn't expose the villain. It does something worse, it lets the dread settle in. The audience feels it first. Then Jennifer. Then Charlotte. Something is terribly wrong, and it's about to explode across the entire DiMera family. Tuesday's episode feels quiet on the surface, but beneath that calm, every storyline is tightening like a trap ready to snap. Every moment is connected. Every small incident is the start of something far bigger. Aaron's sudden reappearance isn't coincidence, it's the opening move in a potential custody nightmare for Chanel. Holly's sweet behavior hides a growing ambition, and her next move may collide with someone else's pain. Alex's instincts are dead right, someone is watching him, and today marks the beginning of that threat. Brady's confession to Belle pulls legal consequences into Rachel's emotional unraveling. This is no longer a family issue, it's a crisis that could reshape Salem. Chad's disappearance is the spark of a DiMera storm, a storyline that will drag the entire family into danger before the week is done. Tuesday doesn't give the answers. It gives the clues. A whisper, a shadow, a moment that feels wrong, a look that lasts 1 second too long. It's the kind of episode where everything feels normal until you realize nothing is. Because the week of November 24 to 28 isn't heading toward a simple reveal. It's heading toward full-scale chaos. And Tuesday is the day the fuse is